welcome to another edition of Pass the Ox.
Pass the ox, pass the ox.
Hey, it's your boy, Dwayne. You already know. Your cousin's favorite cousin, your neighbor's favorite neighbor, and all that good stuff. Your favorite person to ride in the car with, all that good stuff, man. That's what we do. We pass the ox. Just like I'm about to pass this introduction over to my one and only co-host. You already know, Miss Janine Berry. Talk to the people. What's up?
What's up, everybody? Hope everybody has had a great week coming off of Juneteenth. It's your girl, Janine, and episode 3, baby. That's it. That's all.
That's all, folks. That's all. And we got a real dope special guest in the house. Special guest. This man is a man of many titles. Many titles. I mean, you can put CEO to the title. You can put head marketing director to the title. You could do so much, but you know, we consider this man family, and it's very ironic because, well, this very show is being broadcasted to you on Six Families Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, gotta welcome my boy, Vinny. Vinny, talk to the people, man. How you doing, sir?
What's up, man? Hey, honor to be here with y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all doing some beautiful things right now. Past the ox, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I'm just glad to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Man.
Thank
Come
you for
on,
coming.
Oh, pleasure. Thank y'all for having me, man. And,
hey, no problem.
You know, shout to y'all doing your thing. You know, Six Families Radio. We here, man. We causing a little bit of drama out here, so you know, I like that.
Could you spill the tea? What kind of drama are we causing out here in these streets?
What up?
You know, we ruffling some feathers. You know, when they counted me out, they thought I was gone. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I come back with a team.
Wow.
Period.
They like, oh shit.
Oh,
Vinny
yes,
ain't
sir.
playing around this time. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
Right. That's
So,
what's
you know,
happening.
they you know, it's like when Michael Corleone said in Godfather 3, he said, look, you know, they try to count me out, but you know, sorry.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, peace to y'all, man. Y'all had we gonna brag a little bit, but y'all had, so the first episode, all right, hold on. The first episode of Pass the Ox, Usher, right? That was the Usher joint, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Y'all broke the record of listenership on the show.
I can't
Day
remember.
one. Yeah, so clap.
That's
Bro,
what's
what
up.
a applause, bro.
What a time to be alive,
Yeah.
baby.
Oh.
I got a message from you know, the higher ups at my server, and they was like, we might have a bandwidth problem. I said, what you mean? Looked at the numbers, and then it was crazy. I was putting my daughter to bed, and I was like, oh shit. All right, I see what we doing. So, you know, shout out to y'all, man. Y'all had an incredible episode with the Usher, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad to be here, you know what I'm saying? We got a big week this week, you know what I'm saying? We starting off tonight, Monday. We starting off fresh, but, you know, come tomorrow, I'm about to wreak havoc on a lot of people tomorrow. So
I'm
we're going to
ready.
touch on that. So, but yeah, I appreciate y'all having me, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, you know, we're going to get a little bit more into Mr. Vinny and, you know, telling the people out there more about Six Families Radio, you know what I mean? And telling them about In the Mix and letting them know about the Mix Radio show, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they got to know about that too, you know, especially if you're an old hip hop head, you know what I mean? And you like the classics, you know what I mean? You like the classics. Maybe you're not on the mumble rap phase and the mumble rap era. Maybe you like the classics, you know, when you got bars, you know what I mean?
Hey, man. Shouts to the mumble rappers, you know what I'm saying? They need it right now, but our shit is needed too, so I'm just gonna bring it back, you know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. Come on. Let's get it. So, speaking of which, you know, because this is Past the Ox, baby, we show love to all the genres, all the styles, both recent, both current, past, present, future, all that good stuff. New wave, you name it. We showing love to
You
all of it.
name it.
You know?
Sorry. My bad.
Shout out to the throwback.
I
you
felt it in
already
the
know.
spirit. I felt it. Sorry.
We felt it. We felt it. So, Neen, let's go ahead and welcome this edition of What's in Your Ears.
What's in my ears? We going new or we going just what's been on the playlist heavy rotation?
Man, let's go with what's been on the playlist and heavy rotation. Talk to the people.
All right. So I'm gonna go throwback first because this is super random. I don't know why it's been on my playlist, but Pink's first album, Can't Take Me Home. And I don't know what possessed me to go back to this, but I remember I ordered the CD. It came out in 2000, so I was like in 4th grade. And remember when you would get the little thing inside of the mail to where you can like order CDs and like the first 5 are free and they'll send it to you?
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
You remember that?
What was that called, man? Oh yeah, the Columbia House joint.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
So I ordered Pink's first album. I got Joe, I got Maya, Ricky Martin, because I was looking out for my mom and something else. I don't know. But anyway, Pink's first album was so good to me. And I think it was because back when she first came out, she wasn't like rock star Pink. She was more like R&B pop. And her voice is actually really powerful. And I don't know, listening to the album was just super nostalgic for me this week. So that's been on heavy rotation for me. And then following that up, Tiana Taylor, the album, my goodness, my God. I love Tiana Taylor so much.
She's incredible.
Incredible. Like when we say artist, she is that in every, like, she can sing, her visuals are crazy, what she does fashion wise, her lyrics are like so yeah, that's it. I love Tiana Taylor.
I'm rocking with that.
Yeah,
she was bringing the vibes for real. You know, shout out to Cuzzo for that recommendation on that album, because actually was vibing that. I was like, okay,
yo, she had Erykah Badu, like she got Erykah Badu to be on a track with her. That's amazing.
Man, let me tell you, when you get Miss Badu on the track, bruh, when you get Miss Badu on the track, you know you doing something. You know you is.
Like, to have that backing is amazing. And come to find out, Erykah Badu is going to deliver her baby. So their relationship is mad close.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's truth.
That's interesting.
That's true. Okay. Brother Vinny, how about you, man? What's been in your ears lately, man? What you been bumping lately this week, man? What's been in your ears?
Man, a lot. I mean, for me, you know, running a station, I got to keep my ear to everything. So I've been plugged into everything. I did take a trip a little bit down memory lane. So Saturday, a week from Saturday, it was Prodigy's 3-year passing. So I had been bumping some Prodigy pretty heavy over the weekend, last weekend. And his album, HNIC2, man, so many gems on there with everything we dealing with now in this society, man. It's kind of scary, man. So I was dumping in some Prodigy on an old school tip. And it's wild because that HNIC2 came out in 2007 and it's 2020. So he was so ahead of his time with his lyrics and his message, and man, so that was dope. I took a peep at Black's new project this weekend. Shouts to him. Nino Man from Harlem just dropped a new record. He's Jada Kiss's artist. He just dropped a little project. So I was in tune with that. But I'm gonna keep it funky with y'all, man. I think the biggest record right now that's still been in heavy rotation for me It's kind of a mixture in between Royce the 5'9's album and Eminem's album, man. I keep
Mm.
I keep finding new things on his Eminem record, and I'm like, oh my God, like, you know what I'm saying? You skip over records sometimes and you sit back and listen and you're like, the hell, man, what is this? This
Right.
dude is crazy, man. So
Yeah.
man, so that's what's been in it. I'm trying to think. There was another project that I heard recently that was amazing. Um and I want to give them them props. Um oh the the record with Pop Smoke and Roddy Rebel from Brooklyn. That record has been
Mm.
amazing. So that's been a burner. That's actually it's actually number 2, the most requested record on Six Families Radio. So I've been burning that crazy. So the fans loving it. So
Yeah.
I'm vibing with the fans. You know what I mean? That's that new wave. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Yes, sir. I love that. I love that. Well, as far as
What you been
myself,
listening to?
man, what's uh what's been in your boys' ears? Going, like my co-host said, I'm gonna go a little throwback first, kind of bring it to the modern day. And I started out, man, and I was thinking about Fab, and I went back and listened to those soul tapes because I
Yeah.
forgot, man. Well, I didn't forget. I really Fab is
Yay.
one of my favorite like lyricists, man. But like I was just
Fab.
going back and just vibing off of a lot of those like soul tape remixes, how he would play off of them, flip them, and just kind of do things and just so smooth. You know what I mean? Fab is like a smooth lyricist, dude. Like, and I
Incredible.
just thought about the memories of being in like college and then finding out like, oh yeah, Fab dropped soul tape 2. Wait, for real? Like a second one? Okay, let's go. Soul tape 3. Word, I bet, and then
Live
trying to figure out like which one was
mixtape.
the best one. Like you couldn't even choose. They were all real good. So it was one of the things I had to listen to it from like start to finish and just like kind of go through there. We had the 7th anniversary recently of Wale's The Gifted album, and I had to go on that, revisit some of the songs on there. To those who don't remember that album, if you're not a Wale fan, that was the album from that single where he had Bad come out, and a lot of people definitely probably remember that single for sure. So, it came off of that Gifted album. And I mean, there were so many slept on songs from that album. It was probably one of the last actual albums from Wale that I actually appreciated. And then I kind of fell off Wale a little bit after that. But nonetheless, Wale, salutes to you, man. And recently, man, much like Vinny, much like my co-host here, the boy Black, man, that EP, 6-piece, how man.
Yeah.
Listen,
Let me
vibes
tell
all
you
day.
something. Let me tell you something, man. Black is such an underrated lyricist
Yes.
Yes.
that he does such an incredible job with the R&B tip and his
Yes.
music and his melodies. But don't fuck with him on the mic when it comes to spitting. That dude is
Yeah.
something vicious, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy because I come from an era where it's like when you rap, that's like when we talk about skill, like if you in sports, right? Your skill is your attributes, right? You quick. Um, in hip hop, usually you show your lyricism up front to prove how great you are. Now, bro, it's a different lane, it's a different game. And that motherfucker, man, yo, Black is when he pulled a pen out, bro, when he does, man, he's kind of like Tory Lanez to me in a
Yeah.
sense, because Tory is like he touches all lanes, but when he whips that pen out and he raps,
Yeah, man.
No,
I'm
bro,
I
did
telling you.
here at all.
I'm
did you
Agree.
telling you.
did you hear the new Wale EP?
I
No.
did. I did listen. I gave it a check out. He has some joints on there I was really feeling.
Yeah,
And
you know, he threw something out there for his fans. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't been. I think the last Wale project I really vibed with was probably the Gifted joint. And I
yeah.
actually remember his mixtape with Ninth Wonder was super dope.
Yes.
Um, and
Yes.
I kind of always like, for me, Wale was one of those cats where when he would drop something, I always would listen to it. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the climate was, I always wanted to hear what he was talking about. And he's definitely one of them cats out there too that I don't think gets a lot of his props. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
Agree.
For sure. For
Definitely
sure.
underrated. And Fab, that man,
You know,
I almost
I
want to say Fab is underrated, but I don't think he is. Like everybody is gonna give Fab his props, and I think maybe he didn't go as mainstream as what we would have liked to see him, but the lane that he's in, like he's well respected. So I don't
yeah,
know.
facts.
I
I
agree.
mean, I think the thing with Fab over the years, and I've been I've been in the industry for a long time, and we've rubbed shoulders with Fab on a few different occasions. Me and my camp. But Fab's just one of those dudes, man, where he's always on a pulse of the wave and what's going on now, but he always knows how to be Fab, and I think that's why the streets fuck with him. I think that's why the ladies love him. I think that's why the mainstream fuck with him because when you get a Fab project and you get a Fab record, you know exactly it's not going to be watered down. It's not going to be anything but Fab. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. I can
Soul
relate to that.
tapes, man. Wow, the soul tapes
Soul
is
tapes,
crazy,
man.
man.
They were. They were. I mean, I appreciated those probably more than I appreciated his albums, and that's saying in a
Yeah,
good way, not even in a bad
right.
way. You know what I mean? Like you got some artists, and I'm sure Neen, I'm sure you can relate and agree with this one, but like you got artists that it's like it's not that they don't come out with good albums, but sometimes they come out with better mixtapes, you
Yeah.
know, like that are just so classic. Something about the theme behind the mixtape, you know what I mean? Where you're like, you know, it's a playoff of some of your favorite shows or movies, you know what I mean? And you're
Mm-hmm.
like, you know, I think about like Starlito and Don Tripp and how they, you know, did like the Step Brothers mixtapes, you know what I mean? And it was just like, whoa, you know what I mean? That's a nice play off of the movie. Everybody loves Step Brothers, man. You know, everybody know
Right,
that movie,
right.
you know, and so you just like, oh, that's a cool tribute, and you'll hear little sound bites or something, you know, and it's telling stories, you know, and albums do that to a degree, but it almost feels like albums kind of have like a label
Yes.
in control feel over it. You know what I mean? Like the label wants something, so the artist is gonna give what the label wants. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Another thing too is when Fab was dropping the soul tapes, you got to remember he was on Def Jam, and this was after From Nothing to Something, and I think From Nothing to Something came out in '07, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
yeah,
it was '07 because that's the summer that record came out is the summer rest in peace Stack Bundles had passed away. So I think Fab needed to kind of get in his bag real quick and say, look, I'm a mainstream rapper. I just came on from another. So I had T-Pain, I had JD, I had Neo, I had all these, great acts. But he would those soul tapes came out in that era where the labels was you didn't have that record, you was being shelved, bro. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he
mm,
really creatively decided, yo, I'm gonna make a project how I want to make it, and I'm gonna do me. And when Fab does that, that's why I love Fab's beat. I love Fab's B sides and mixtapes more than the albums. I'm with you on that all
yeah,
day, all day.
yeah. I agree, man. I agree. Neen, how you feel about the mixtape versus the album when it comes to an artist these days?
These days, I actually have a question that I wanted to ask you all. So, Six Family's radio is like hip hop, is authentic hip hop radio, right? So, I remember maybe around 2012, give or take a few years, we started hearing a lot of OGs say that hip hop is dead, right? And
Hmm.
so, from y'all standpoint, do you feel like hip hop is dead, and what we're trying to do is like revive it or bring back what we feel like hip hop is, or do we feel like hip hop never died? It just has sons now.
Hmm.
Nah, I think so. I think when people were saying hip hop was dead, I think that the art of lyricism and the five elements of hip hop have been bastardized by corporate America. You know what I'm saying? I think that's really the biggest thing. Hip hop ain't never died, man. Like we got to realize something that hip hop is was birthed in the Bronx, and it became this phenomenon that traveled, across seas and continents, and it's been able to bring, um, it's been able to spread that message there throughout, various different generations. So I think for, what Six Families Radio represents, you know what I'm saying, is the authentic side of the people. The fans dictate what's hot. The streets dictate what's hot.
Mhm.
Social media, fucking Spotify playlists, and all of those curated things that the fans have no say in. That's not what hip hop's about. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's kind of part A of it. You know what I'm saying? I think what we bring to the table as a station is we give the fans control of what is being played, and they have a say in what's hot. And I come from, and it's relevant today. The streets know the temperature of things. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They are the be all, say all, and everything. And then side B to that is, you know, I think people got to realize, and I maybe the old heads never realized it, but I always been kind of one step ahead of things. But hip hop is an art, not a science. So there's no right or wrong way to do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Come
Speak,
on,
I think
man.
Vinny.
I think
Speak
at
to
the
the
end of
people.
the day, people have their preferences, right? And
Mhm.
I'm a huge guy on preferences. You know what I'm saying? But the beauty about hip hop right now, especially in 2020, is that there's something for everybody.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? If you don't
Yeah.
like, if you don't like the mumble rap, well, there's some other shit out there. And the thing is, you don't have to be force fed with it because you have your Spotify's, you got your titles, you can create, your own playlist. And that's the beauty about hip hop, is that there's a lane for everybody at this moment. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what Six Families Radio is about, is making sure that the people have their voice. I don't know if you guys are in Atlanta, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's the big station out there hip hop wise?
I would say it would be V103, 107.9 maybe, but definitely V103 above. Probably,
What's
yeah.
Yeah.
what's the
Ooh, man. It's a little bit of both, but between the two, it's 107.9 and V103 for sure.
Yeah, those would be the top two.
so do they are they owned by iHeartRadio or some of these major conglomerates, to your knowledge?
I think it's iHeart
Oh, okay. So a lot of the thing too
or
is that,
Radio 101.
right. So a lot of the time with radio, terrestrial radio, your FM radio is iHeartRadio and all these corporations are in the pocket of the labels. So the other thing that, for Six Families Radio that's so cool is that we actually are connecting with the independent artists. They
Mm-hmm.
actually have an outlet. They ain't gotta worry about putting money underneath the table to get their record played. They ain't gotta worry about having marketing and budgeting dollars to get their record played. Because if it's hot and the streets are gravitating to it, we gonna throw it in. We're gonna put it in rotation. So that's the balance that's missing from hip hop, because you have the mainstream up here, you know what I'm saying? And then you got these guys here and it's not balanced. You feel me? So we got to be the balance in the culture, because um look, I love Migos. I love a lot of these mainstream acts. I love Tory. Um I think he does incredible things. I think Lil Baby put out an incredible record a couple
Fire.
weeks ago with everything going on.
Yeah.
The Baby, he's one of my favorite cats out here. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing: they get enough radio spins. You know what I'm saying? They get enough of that shit going on right now because they are in pocket with a major label. So I think for me, I take our opportunity to, yeah, you're gonna hear some of that. You know what I'm saying? But you're also gonna hear the next wave of people coming up. That in 2 years, maybe, you know, in 6 to 9 months, you're gonna hear them heavy on the iHearts. You know what I'm saying? So that's the
That's cool.
whole situation. But to answer your question overall, I mean, I don't think if you're talking to the old heads 50 and above, they might still say, oh, hip hop is dead and they killing our culture and this, that, and the third. And um I think there's some clown shit out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be
Of
real.
course.
But there was clown shit in the 80s, it was clown shit in the
Yep.
90s, it was clown shit in the 2000s. So I just think it's just finding a balance again, and that's what we bring to the table. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
I
like
agree
it.
with
I like
that.
it.
Hip hop to me seems to kind of be like, whoo, it's kind of like ice cream flavors. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so you may not like the newest flavor that's out. If you want to stick to the flavors that you like,
Right. Let's
go
go
ahead
back
and
to some
continue to pick
classics.
them.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're not afraid to try something new, try something new. But if you want
Hmm.
to stick to what you know, go right ahead, man. It's not going anywhere. So, classics are classics for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listen to them if you want to be stuck in that realm, by all
Yeah.
means. You know what I mean? But if
Right.
you like, well, us in this room right now, then you pretty much like a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? You might have a preference in certain eras more than others, but you're open minded to everything that's out. You
I
know what I
think
mean?
one. Yeah, I think one thing that people get fucked up is that they think that just because it's nostalgic, that feeling made it good. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, man. It's like I think people need to get past that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Because especially when you're trying to move things forward and you're trying to progress in the industry, like you
Yeah,
can't be that old head saying, "Oh, these new guys, these new guys. I don't listen to no new guys." It's like you can't do that because if you love the game and you love the culture, you're gonna pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're gonna see the bright guys, the guys that shine through. Like right now, Lil Baby's impressing me. You know what I'm saying? I really enjoyed that record he put out. And these old heads, they won't say that. Like, nah, the Lils out here, nah, they ruin everything. And, we can't think
The
like
Lil
that,
Lils.
especially
the
yeah,
Lils.
the,
Yeah,
the younger generation coming up now, man, they gotta realize that, bro, Snoop Dogg was 16, 17 years old making Doggy Style.
Yep.
Nas was 18 when he wrote Illmatic. So it's like hip hop is already incorporated in the youth. And they are the ones telling us about what's going on in the communities in the world. So we gotta listen, you know what I'm saying? But again, this shit is an art, it ain't a science. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
it is what it is.
Great answer. My goodness.
Come on now. And that's why we got Vinny on the show, people, because this is a man that is open minded and can tell you a little bit about every bit of this culture, man. And that's what we do on Past Odds. We're not favoritism. We're not going to just cater to one side and not go around and just give you the love, spread the love of every genre, every style
Word.
that we can. So salute to you if you're an
Thank you.
artist, up and coming, maybe already hitting it on the streets, maybe your mainstream status, and you just so happen to have enough free time to listen to us right here coming up on the come up. Either way, you're saluting. We are saluting you because you are appreciated and what you do and what you bring to the culture. That being said, now I would like to bring the segment of New Music Friday. So again, this always broadcasts live on Six Families Radio on Monday nights. However, this show is recorded on Fridays. Therefore, we get to bring you New Music Friday, and that's the beauty of recording on Friday. So, Ning,
Yes.
let's start with you.
So I've already mentioned Tiana Taylor's The Album. I don't know what more I can say. I kind of went super to bat for her during the last segment, but if you haven't listened to it already, do it. On our first episode, we kind of mentioned how like we miss real R&B, and Tiana Taylor goes into the 90s R&B bag wholeheartedly. On a lot of these tracks, she would make reference to some old school joints like old Erica, old Lauryn Hill, like just a dope album all around. And then Meg Thee Stallion dropped a single,
She did.
Girls in the Hood. Obviously sampled and has some of the cadences from Eazy-E's Boys in the Hood.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to kind of ask a question to y'all concerning that particular single, if that's okay during this segment.
Of course. Shoot.
All
The
right,
ox
let's
is
do it.
passed to you.
Let's do it. Okay, so like I said, Girls in the Hood samples and kind of sounds like Boys in the Hood. And so